So the other day, I was filling out a political survey, as one does. I had a question asking me which issues were most important to me as a voter. They gave me a multiple choice list, and one of the options was the economy/jobs as a single issue. Now, most people won't bat an eyelash at seeing the economy and jobs lumped into the same category. That's because in our culture, when we think about the health of the economy, we tend to frame it in terms of jobs. The economy is doing well when unemployment is low, wages are up, and the labor market is strong, right? Well, maybe, but only because we've rigged it so that people need jobs in order to earn a living. And this arrangement is holding us back from reaching our full potential. I submit to you that to the extent we are creating jobs to push money to workers, we are not creating those jobs because there's actually work that needs doing. Through various direct and indirect means, we are making up work as an excuse to pay people. Don't believe me? Then why do we limit imports from other countries and try to boost exports? Why does the Federal Reserve follow a mandate to promote full employment? Why is there such a thing as a jobs program? I could go on forever. The way we get people their money is broken. People need the money, that's true, but they don't need the jobs. In our society, most people don't have enough money, and they're working way too hard. Hi, I'm Alex. My background is in software development, but since 2011, I've been interested in economics. 2011 is the year I discovered basic income, also known as Universal Basic Income or UBI. Basic income is a regular income unconditionally paid to every individual person. Basic income sounds ridiculous at first. You can't just hand everyone free money, right? Well, it starts to sound a lot less ridiculous when you compare it to the status quo. And the status quo, as I said, is that we force people to do useless work as an excuse to pay them. We're already handing people money. We're just hiding it behind the fact that we're also handing them jobs. Basic income is a hot topic these days. You may have heard it touted as a more efficient form of welfare, or perhaps as the answer to robots taking over people's labor. There is a kernel of truth to both of these stories, but at its most fundamental level, basic income is the solution to the problem of how to get spending money to consumers. Why am I using the word consumers here? Because the economy exists for the benefit of the people. It produces goods and services that people want and need. This means that the most important role that people play in the economy is the role of consumer. Being a consumer just means you're receiving benefit from the economy. In his Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith said, "Consumption is the sole end and purpose of all production, and the interest of the producer ought to be attended to only so far as it may be necessary for promoting that of the consumer." All he meant is that without someone to consume the products, there's no point in having any products. Workers and firms are important too, but only insofar as their products benefit actual people. Our culture overvalues work and workers. Not work in the sense of productive activity, but work in the sense of labor market labor. Labor is somehow noble even though you're being paid to do it. Most work is not paid. We spend our time in ways that are valuable to us. And this is as it should be. A well-functioning economy makes us even better off. But we will remain unable to get the most out of the economy so long as we remain obsessed with what people are putting into it. As far as the economy goes, we are consumers first. We tend to expect three things from the labor market. 1, efficient allocation of the resource of labor. 2, incomes for consumers. And 3, meaning and purpose for workers. But to the extent that we use jobs for 2 and 3, we're sacrificing efficient labor allocation. In an efficient labor market, jobs only exist because there's actually work that needs doing. And the only purpose of wages is to incentivize people to do that work. Efficient wages do not automatically adjust to provide people with enough income to reap the full benefit of what the economy has to offer. And that's okay. The labor market is a market for getting people to do things. It's not supposed to be a tool for funneling money to consumers. So if people need money and jobs are a crappy way to get it to them, we can instead just hand them the money. Basic income is commonly described as an amount of money that's sufficient to ensure some predetermined minimum standard of living. But why should the amount of the basic income ever be anything less than the full amount the economy can sustain? I don't think it should. That's why I advocate what I call a calibrated basic income over the subsistence basic income that we hear more commonly discussed. All this means is that instead of deciding on the amount of the basic income ahead of time based on some notion of what people need, we gradually increase the payout until people are able to buy everything the economy can produce for them. Indicators such as interest rates will tell us when to stop. We can go further than subsistence. A calibrated basic income prevents lack of money from standing in the way of human prosperity. So everybody asks how to pay for a basic income. But if you've been paying attention, I've already answered this question. What matters isn't where we can get the money from. What matters is whether the money has somewhere to go. We can hand people as much money as we want so long as they have something to spend it on. Let's use a calibrated basic income to find out what the economy can do for us. Instead of asking how to pay for it, the question we should really be asking is what price have we been paying for not having a basic income? What are the costs of the status quo? The reality is that having a basic income is cheaper than not having a basic income. Basic income isn't what's expensive. Poverty is what's expensive. And creating useless jobs is wasteful of people's time, wasteful of resources, and harmful to the environment. So what am I saying? Am I saying that the government can just print the money and hand it out to people? I am kind of saying that. But everybody knows that printing money causes price inflation, right? Nope, I don't know that. What I do know is that as long as we're matching consumer spending to the economy's production, then there is no inflation. There can't be. Inflation only occurs when more money is chasing fewer goods. This is the part where people say, hold on a second, Alex. Are you absolutely sure that adding more money to the economy won't cause inflation? If there's more money circulating, then prices have to go up, right? It's basic economics. Haven't you heard of the quantity theory of money? I am sure, and here's why. Let me tell you a story. A few months back, I met a guy who was designing video game economies. He conceded to me that video game money works differently because it's only a partial economy. Money is created when the monster drops some gold, and then it's destroyed when you buy a potion from the shop. The money doesn't just keep circulating. So I laughed when he told me that. I laughed because that is exactly how the real world economy works. Money does not circulate. It's not supposed to. Money flows through the economy like a river, from consumers to producers to the financial sector. Sure, we can create jobs to force at least some of the existing money to flow back to consumers, but what's the point? Why not just hand them new money instead? Inflation isn't about the amount of money in the economy, it's about the rate at which money is flowing through the economy. And as long as we keep consumer spending balanced with production, we're good to go. Basic income only solves the problem of how to get spending money to consumers. It won't give people a sense of purpose. And I can tell you another thing that won't help people have purpose, forcing them to do useless work. There's a reason why Zeus sentenced Sisyphus to the eternal punishment of pushing a boulder up a hill. It was torture. We are torturing our people. Basic income at least gives us the freedom to, not do that. So what about those robots? Are they coming to take our jobs? Unfortunately, no. Our society has gotten really good at generating make work. It's baked into our culture and into our laws. Basic income is not the answer to some looming robot takeover. It's the other way around. Providing people money independent of the labor market will finally allow us to eliminate the jobs we should have been eliminating for centuries. We won't have to feel guilty anymore about letting robots do the work that we don't want to do anyway. The economy will not produce what people lack the money to buy. Let's give them the money. The robots are not coming, and that's a problem. Let's stop wasting people's time and let the robots do the work. I don't know what people need to get the most out of life, but I'm excited to find out. I'm excited about the human potential we will unlock by giving people the freedom to spend their time how they choose. People need money, not jobs.